like fully use that power, that limited time. That's why it's heavily linked, that Lotus technique and gates.
To it, meaning verbatim stating that Gar will be killed because his armor of sand will not be able to withstand the AP of the primary Lotus.
Uh, oh my god. Where it states that? Where it states that's your interpretation, and you have very over exaggerated interpretation. It does not state that at all. It's narratively just says like what's going on. The people just
Almost forgot to add myself to the stream for a second there. 1 second. Okay. People should be able to hear me now. Okay. I said at the beginning, I did see the request for the video on the ABD video for Goku versus Saitama. I will be getting to that. I want to finish up the Weeb versus Sasuke video. Obviously, people can tell now. I am currently working on the results on who I think would actually win this and why. And then after that, I will be trying to get out the how powerful is Omega Flower video. So let's rewind this just a little, and we'll start. Sorry about that. I don't know why I keep forgetting to actually add my audio to this.
interpretation. It does not state that at all. It's narratively just says like what's going on. The people just express what they see. It's not like they are saying.
People are expressing what they're seeing. So you see, here's the thing. I don't remember 100% what happened right before this, but if I remember correctly, we're on the point of combat speed. If people are seeing that his combat speed is increased, then well, yeah, they're seeing his combat speed is increased. So thank you for admitting that. If I'm misremembering that, that's fine. We'll continue on. I went back a little bit anyway, so I'd already addressed
Or
it anyway.
Stating that it's fifth gate gonna kill him. It's not stated. So this guy just misrepresents his evidence. It's literally shown on his scans. If someone reads it and listens this guy, you can tell that it's completely misrepresented.
In what way?
It was able to withstand Lee's taijutsu blows, but it will not be able to take the Lotus. Which is,
by the way, Lotus is taijutsu too.
Yes, it is a taijutsu blow, but it's a more advanced taijutsu blow. It's not like his. So when they say he can't survive his taijutsu blows, they're talking about his base fist to fist, like basic taijutsu blows. Obviously, the Lotus is advanced. Most people generally understand that.
I don't get this guy's point. So you are saying you can withstand taijutsu, but you can't withstand this taijutsu.
No, you're misrepresenting what's being said, and you're also oversimplifying it.
Why?
Oh my god.
He's going to use that technique. All right, now we're going to go back and refer to the second gate. So right here it stated.
By the way, that all that statements and all things he says is contradicted, and it's shown in manga and in anime that Lee was not able to pass through Gaara's first layer of defense.
He did it multiple times. What are you talking about? Like, there's entire parts of time where we see that Gaara's armor is completely destroyed. He actually uses his regular sand shield in order to also slow down the blows as well. So if he didn't have that as well to further weaken Rock Lee's power, would have gone right through his shell. Not only that, but there's two moments where he actively does everything he can to avoid taking the full front of an attack. With the Hidden Lotus, he actively uses his substitution so that he doesn't take the blow. He does this because he knows that if he takes it, he's going to be defeated. And when he gets hit with the Reverse Lotus, he actively creates one of the biggest cushions that he's made at that point in order to keep himself from hitting the ground at full power. And even then, he's barely able to move for a good while. And for those who say he gets up right after anyway, Jinchuriki's have an incredible healing factor.
Which is on his skin and called sand armor. So I just which Sasuke literally passed through ultimate, even better, more dense defense, and which is multi-layer, and it's really dense. It's and also he passed through the Shikaku transformed Gaara. Basically, it's shown in Chunin exams and in later in Forest that Chidori can pass through all that layers.
Okay, I'll give it to you. Shidori has the ability to pierce through attacks better than raw physical force. Okay, what does that do for Sasuke? He can't hit Rock Lee with the Shidori. He has to charge it up, so in a one-on-one fight, this does him no good. That would be like saying Kaguya can destroy anyone with the Ash Bones, therefore she beats DMS Kakashi. No, she can't touch DMS Kakashi with the murderous Ash Bones. They're irrelevant, even if they could kill him.
Of defense, which is superior than way superior than the sand armor that Gaara had against Lee,
So he was able to bounce.
or even sand defense when Gateless Lee was trying to attack, or not weightedly was trying to attack Gaara.
You see, that's a claim, and I'm going to need it proven. I can accept it, but I'm not going to accept it without any proof. And you're not going to show any proof, so we'll move on.
That time.
Back from exhaustion with such abnormal speed because he forced open the Kaimon, the Gate of Rest, which is the second gate. And basically,
So second gate basically refills his stamina, and every gate is like that kinda. He gets refills like his chakra, he gets more chakra flow, and uh,
How does that help you? It just means that every single gate that Rock Lee uses, if he ends up in a position where he's having problems, he can just now go to the next gate now by your logic and refuel himself. So if the first gate doesn't help him win the fight, then he can go to the second gate like he can. If that doesn't do it, he can go to the third all the way up to the fifth. So he can completely refill himself 5 times and get faster every single time he does it. This is not something Sasuke can do. The best he has is the curse mark, but it also eats away at his chakra, and at this point in time, it paralyzes him if he uses it for too long. So Sasuke's on a way more restrictive time limit, according to you.
it's basically very insignificant amp.
from here, Kakashi's like, that feat should be impossible to achieve through hard work alone, so the boy's a genius after all. And he's like, the gate acts as limiters that must be released preparation for performing the reverse.
So limiters is very, very important. Gates is basically limiters inside his body. So first gate is located on brain, and that's the conscious part. Then second gate is located on subconscious part. And when he opens these gates, it releases more chakra flow, and he has more access to more chakra flow.
Lotus. So right here, this talks further about the second gate. Opening the Kaimon freezes the user from his own mental inhibition, blockers, basically, which is
Again, this guy, he's saying blockers, but it's only unlocks one blocker, which is one gate.
Wait, I'm sorry, 1 second.
8 unlocks one.
Repeat that, Weeb.
Again,
from his own mental inhibition, blockers, basically, which is
Sorry, it's got a little bit more.
Here, this talks further about the second gate. Opening the Kaimon freezes the user from his own mental inhibition, blockers, basically, which is
again, this guy, he's saying blockers, but it's only unlocks one blocker, which is one gate. 8 gate is 8 blocker.
He's talking about gate 2, though, so that would be 2 gates, which would be plural, which would be gates. Also, you're arguing semantics. Just get away with the point that if anyone pays attention to your arguments, they can tell that you're wrong.
It's not hard to understand.
Apparently it is.
Referring to the first gate. The opening of the second gate boosts his strength, so it makes him even more stronger, gives him all his stamina and
strength and speed and for that technique it depends on what technique you're gonna use. And for Lee's case is using Lotus, which is the oriented on strength to utilize that strength on your maximum capability.
It's also on speed as well. Again, it's actually said in the So if you go back and watch my last video, you'll actually see the panel where it stated that the releasing of the gates allows you to perform tasks at a increased at a I'm trying to remember the exact word for this. It was basically a increased in speed or a growing speed, something like that. The Lotus, if you go back and actually watch this fight, while Rock Lee is using the Lotus, he's able to move so fast that he goes from Gar being able to somewhat block him with his sand to being able to move so fast that Gar's sand can't even catch up with them while they're in the air. So Rock Lee can actually separate him from the sand while before he could be blocked with it, sort of. So no, he actually does increase speed. And if you want to sit here and say travel speed, that doesn't make sense either. Like I said before, he can throw punches and kicks at that level.
Capability, where to the point where his muscles literally break, literally completely was destroyed after he used the fifth gate.
Energy, basically to compensate for the negative side effects of using the first gate when you're fully exhausted after using the Lotus. And with the opening of the third gate, he gets even stronger and faster.
All this narration and all this explanation is kinda irrelevant when you know mechanism, when you know how gates work.
What? Okay, timeout. One, it doesn't matter how the gates work. If you're sitting there admitting that opening up to gate 3 increases speed and all that, that's irrelevant because that's the argument here. But what mechanisms are you talking about specifically? Because the only things I know about the gates that are relative as far as their mechanism, it's they're a system within the body and mind and all that, or to stop you from going over what you should be able to do to stop you from killing yourself. And opening the gates allows you to use more than what you really should up into a gate, which overrides your body with so much chakra and all that that it kills you. So what are you talking about here?
And how it opens and what chakra flow that, and if you understand chakra and the chakra control and all that, then you should understand mechanism. But this guy is don't understand the mechanism that it works. All this
Explain the mechanisms. Don't just sit there and talk about, oh, he don't understand mechanisms. No, you need to sit there and tell us what the mechanisms are and then explain why he's wrong. If you're not going to do that, then no one understands what you're trying to say. You're just throwing out words then.
explanation is irrelevant because when you know that mechanism, you can you are sure and you surely know how it works in reality. Even in anime,
In reality, does this man know somebody who can use the 8 gates in reality? I need to talk to that person. I need to learn me some of that. Again, what mechanism are you talking about specifically? You're sitting there going, well, if you know, you know, but you haven't told us what we're supposed to know. So what is it that we're supposed to know? Because from what I can tell, you don't know.
it's demonstrated when gates open, then he or user has more access to more chakra flow.
It's also flat out stated that that gate 1 increases your muscle efficiency to 100%. And no, that's not me saying gate 1 is 100 times multiplier or that it allows you all power. No, you heard what I said. It's 100% efficiency of your muscles. Because if you have more chakra, which the other gates do help supply and all that, you can go over your limits. Ninjas enhance their speed, power, durability, and all that with chakra. So even the 100% can be made more powerful. What's up, Toxic Widow?
Faster to where one can begin the reverse Lotus. And we'll talk about that in a second. And basically from
Yeah,
here,
reverse
they
lotus
further talk about
requires
being enough
to fully
sword, how it can give you the power of Hokage, etc. But
No, I know who it is. I'm just reading the username. I don't know why.
it can result in eventually, with the user's death. And then right here,
so to fully perform reverse lotus, it's required to have fifth gate.
this is so now that we've established that the first gate makes him faster, second gate makes him stronger, the third gate makes him faster and stronger, so he can perform the reverse lotus, which is even a more
Every gate gives him amp. Every gate gives him amp, either speed or strength, but it's travel speed. That speed is
No, it's not travel speed. Again, he can throw punches and kicks at this level, so combat speed increases as well. And he can react to things on this level, so reaction speed would also then have to increase. So even if we sit there and say, yes, it increases travel speed, it increases the other two speeds as well. And I'm sure there's other speeds that can be proven to be increased as well. So no, even if I steelman your argument, the others aren't necessarily wrong because of it.
is irrelevant. Basically, that technique and power he generates, that's what's relevant in here. When it comes down to travel speed, relevant is that how much force can he generate from his attack. And
Okay, so I'm going to stop you right there just so I can say what was said in layman's terms. Or I think that's how they say it. So what's relevant here is the force in his travel speed. His travel speed increases his force. He said something like that. I don't think you quite understand.
Sasuke is superior, way superior than fifth gate. That Sasuke's AP is way superior than fifth gate's force that he generates from fifth gate.
No, Gaara could somewhat react to him, and Sasuke could somewhat react to Gaara without his Sharingan active. Sasuke needs to be somewhat relative to somebody in order to react to their speed with, at least at this point in time, with the 2 Tomo, because the 3 Tomo is what's needed to react to greater speeds, obviously. So that means Gaara, when he's transformed, is still at a speed that's not too fast for Sasuke to be able to at least move out of the way of. So that would mean that they're within the same speed park. While Rock Lee with the 5th gate is so fast that almost nobody was able to really tell what was happening. And it took the slight timing between the ground and where they were in the air for a guard to protect himself with the sand. And even then, he barely does it. I see a crater underneath him when he slams Gar into the ground. And even then, like, imagine if he had like launched Gar like a dart directly into the ground, he might have just pierced right through. So, no, you've given no proof that Sasuke with the Chidori is greater than 5th gate Rock Lee speed.
Lee. And that force that Sasuke generates from Chidori is superior, and even travel speed. That speed that is untrackable, that can't be tracked
Dude, don't use words bigger than your head. They don't work for you.
by without Sharingan.
a powerful version of the first lotus that is used in the first gate. Okay, and then he can release the.
Oh, yeah, it does sound like he made a certain argument. So he made the argument just now, if I heard correctly, that Sasuke needed the Sharingan in order to see with the Chidori, while Rock Lee can see just fine while using the 5th gate. The reason why this is a problem, because like I pointed out earlier, the gates could actually be said to increase Rock Lee's reaction speed as well, while the Chidori only increases the travel speed. So if it only increases travel speed, he's not moving faster than he can reasonably perceive things. The Sharingan helps with the perception part of that. While with Rock Lee, the 5th gate, again, increases reactive capabilities, would increase his ability to perceive. So his perception will be going up with his actual ability to move and throw punches. So just because Rock Lee can perceive and Sasuke can't, it just means that Rock Lee has a better speed amp when it comes to it. Not necessarily that the Chidori just makes him move faster.
The 4th gate, which makes him even more fast.
Why did I say that so fast?
And Kakashi's like, wow, he's quite something.
So even in terms of travel speed, Sasuke and Rock Lee are real relative. Rock Lee has no wing con.
Just puts his hand right through Sasuke's head. What does Sasuke do? He doesn't have the durability. Yes, I will say it now. I'm betting later on, he's going to sit there and say somehow Sasuke's durability skills is Chidori because he needs that. But I'll deal with that then.
He don't have AP to finish Sasuke with fifth gate because Sasuke's durability can take that, and not just durability, by the way, Sasuke's endurance, which is big factor to survive that attack. And if you can
Okay, what? Okay, I know there's a difference between endurance and durability. Technically, durability is how hard you can take hits and all that. Endurance is how long you can keep within a fight. But no, Sasuke doesn't have the endurance. He can only use like what, two Shidoris? Actively tries to stay out of the way of Sasuke, not Sasuke, Gaara's sand because it actually hurts him. While Rock Lee took multiple hits while in a tired, fatigued state. He stood up after having his legs and all that broken while unconscious. No, Sasuke is not more endurant than Rock Lee. Even if I wanted to give you durability, that's not true. But no, we'll get to durability later. But what?
survive, then by default, Sasuke is winning
Prove it.
afterwards.
Prove
Because
it.
as we know that the gates is double-edged sword, and especially when Lee uses that reverse lotus on
So is the curse mark. But I'm not going to sit here and say Neji with the Byakugan automatically beats him because it's a double-edged sword. No, you have to look at what it's also giving you as well. Gate 1, if we take the what Mike Guy says about the gates increasing your power by dozens of times, again, is a 12 times amplifier for Gate 1 alone. So if we sit there and keep it linear for the sake of just argument, I mean, Gate 5, you get up to like 30 to 40 times more powerful. Like, what does Sasuke do at that point? He's barely dodging somebody who's just faster than weightless Rock Lee.
on fifth gate, his muscles are completely destroyed, which is shown. And
well, then they'd never be able to get to the sixth gate. So clearly they can at least somewhat deal with the muscles, all that. Realistically, it's when you start moving and all that with that force if you're not used to the gates at all. Because later on in the war, again, Rock Lee's able to hold the sixth gate for a long periods of time. Mike Guy can do the seventh gate for just as long. So no, it's not automatically just automatically destroys your muscles. Clearly there's a proponent to this of getting used to it that can nullify the effects to some degree.
and I can show to it right now. So this is the punch that Rock Lee uses, right arm and left feet. So this every muscle, and he's basically internally damaged.
Saying Rock Lee is internally damaged? Okay. Fine.
Right here, Rock Lee's snap. He's basically breaking his arm and feet, bones and muscles and everything. It literally says snap. He's in so much pain right here.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily because he used the gates. It's a result of what he did with the gates, but he had to throw those hits in order for that to happen. So what if he just activated the fifth gate and just never moved? Would it still break his bones and all that? Maybe not.
And that's just it. Like after, and this is aftermath, which Gara look at Gara. Look how Gara looks.
That man looks like he's in so much pain, man.
This is first layer. This is sand armor on his face. Sand armor is still on him. That all.
Okay, there was a period in time where you don't see Gara, so he could have just put some of his sand armor back on because he does repair that when he gets the chance because he's afraid of getting hit. So he could have just been repairing it while you couldn't really see him. And this is just how much he was able to repair within that time period.
All the punch that he
Also, he says right before he gets that hit that his armor can't withstand the beating, and he's clearly hurt, showing that he took in damage before, even minus the armor that's there anyway, so that's irrelevant.
generated literally was not able to pass through that sand armor. That he don't have that AP. Even with fifth gate, it's over exaggerated. That's the reality. Everything that he performed, that fancy attacks and all this narration and all these statements, and it's cool and all, but it's over exaggerated. He don't have that AP. His AP is just not even sand armor level, which
Or the sand, because again, Garth straight out says his armor can't withstand the beating that Gar is giving him. So maybe if Rock Lee had a bit more time with it, maybe he could have done it, or if he had attacked the same spot like twice. And again, Gar right here, he's obviously hurting. So again, like what if Rock Lee had instead hitting him like in the gut, he had hit him right in the head and sent him down into the ground like a dart. Then even that sand wouldn't have protected him. He would have died, and it would have been because of Rock Lee's hits. So I don't know what you're trying to get out here. It's
Sasuke surpassed it.
And just by him taking one step, you can see the ground just being completely destroyed. And look at what he does after this. And this is with the fourth gate.
Look at him. He's bleeding on he's bleeding. He's just opening gate. He's not doing any technique right here. He's bleeding. It's not sustainable. That chakra flow, that amp he's getting is not sustainable. He has to do technique. It's literally shown. And even when Might Guy opened it, he was opened gates. He was able to when he was against Kisame, he was able to sustain it longer than Lee because his body is by default much stronger and much durable because body adapts on uh, all the strength. Like in real life, when you
I don't care if Rock Lee can withstand the force of its gates. The question is, can Sasuke withstand the force of the gates? And nothing says that he can. Because again, later if you look at the fight with Gaara with Sasuke, he does get hurt by Gaara's basic sand abilities. He runs into Gaara's sand shield. His fist is hurt. You see him bleeding from the fist that punches it. He also gets cut in multiple places. So that shows that Gaara's sand can hurt him. And Rock Lee can just straight up take those attacks while in a weakened fatigue state. So
train and use that stress and all that, you adapt. So Might Guy is more durable. That's why he can sustain.
One second, guys. I'm sorry. No, she's not here. Sorry about that, everyone. Bit of an intermission.
But this kid Lee, is not. His body is not as durable, not even close to Might Guy, obviously. But like his body just breaking down. He can't sustain it.
Alone. And here, this is also something very important for Lee's speed. Basically, it's stated that these rapid moves are Lee's key to winning the match. Reverse Lotus, a series of taijutsu performed at such speed that the attacker is untouchable.
So, series of technique, right? So, it starts on third gate and ends on fifth gate. So,
No, it ends on 8th gate if you want to get technical, Mr. Smart Guy. And no, they're talking about the techniques that he's doing within the first gate. You can do more than one technique within gate 1. You see Rock Lee run around Gaara, hitting him multiple times and all that, performing different striking techniques. And then he performs the Hidden Lotus, which is an advanced taijutsu technique. So either way you slice it, you're wrong.
He has to open from third gate to fifth gate or second gate to fifth gate to perform this technique.
So he doesn't need the first gate to open the second gate? Sweet.
There's no way the same can catch up. Verbatim saying that the attacker is untouchable. meaning there's no way to defend against this attack.
That's not what it says. It says attacker is untouchable because he's moving on.
Hold on. The reverse lotus is a series of taijutsu. So yeah, already that right there alone, even without reading, I was able to disprove you. But reading this right here, it specifically says the reverse lotus as a series of techniques. So I don't know what you want from me there. The speed, those rapid moves are oh shoot, I can't. It doesn't actually say anything about the speed in this one specifically.
Travel speed.
Hold
That's
on.
why he's
Go back
because
a little bit.
that's not what it says. It says attacker is untouchable because he's moving on travel speed. That's why he's
Okay, show me where it says travel speed. I don't know anywhere within this fight the word travel speed is ever mentioned, so I want to see that. No, if anything, it just says that the gates make him so fast that the user is untouchable, or the reverse load specifically, I guess. It doesn't say travel speed. You're throwing stuff in there just to make yourself right. That's not how this works.
untouchable.
No.
But it's not like you can't defend because Gara literally defended himself with his sand.
He did it after the technique was over. And again, the idea isn't that you can't defend yourself. It's the idea that you can't really counter the gates, at least the reverse lotus. And he does it. He does not at any point at all counter the reverse lotus. Rock Lee has to power out after the remove is done in order for him to get that hit in. Even then, probably because he doesn't know
He defended himself right here. I'm gonna.
Sorry, I wanted to say this without feeling more rushed. That's also probably because he didn't know the sixth gate. Because according to you, if he had known the sixth gate, he could have just used it and rejuvenized himself, and then he could have ran up to Gara and finished the fight there. Now, obviously, this Rock Lee doesn't know gate number 6. You only can do up to the 5th one. But if he had, the gates would have been more than enough.
I'm gonna show it right here. It says the gold. This thing is tuning into sand. So this is basically sand, and it says it's tuning into sand. So in middle of attack or
no, it's at the end of the attack, Smarty. Pay attention to your own panels.
While Gara was being attacked in that.
He wasn't in the middle of being attacked. He had just got hit in the gut. He was making the sand because he was going towards the ground. He was not doing it in response to block Rock Lee. He couldn't block Rock Lee. He couldn't get the sand that was behind him to him close enough, so he had to do the sand that was already behind him. So that only could the sand that was far away from him not catch up to him in time. But he was doing this to react to after the attacks and not to counter.
That speed, he was able to use or
barely
or defend himself with this gold, that sand.
Barely.
He was, and he was able to.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. Oops. Okay, stop playing. Look at this. This ground right there is damaged. He barely saved himself, and it takes him a good second to get up. And if you're going to sit there and go, well, he does get up anyway. Again, healing factor. He is a Jinchuriki. He's clearly hurt. He barely moves his hand to get up there. Yeah, Rock Lee hurt him bad.
Break it down in like this into this form, this sand form. So, like its density is defensor chakra. So one can say that, oh, that gold just break itself. It's not break itself. Gara is controlling it with magnet release, and he can.
Magnet release? Okay, I guess technically, yeah. Shikaku does give you magnet release, which is why I'm saying, okay, fair enough.
Can use he just use it as defense, as a sand to layer to just to defend that.
Yeah, do you know why he did that? Because if this sand armor was strong enough to do that, he wouldn't have wasted the chakra to do this. And even then, he nearly lost that fight even while doing that. So Gate 5, the first Lotus, would have been more than enough to beat Gara. We see it right here. Gara got lucky with that gore on his back. If any point Rock Lee had found a way to separate him from that gore, or he had done that, he had like a second off on that, Gara would have lost. There's no arguing against that.
Force afterwards. So when Lee attacked, he already generated max force in the air. So he was not able to kill Gara. So this defense that he defended himself is irrelevant. Because
No, it's not irrelevant. If he did it, then he clearly felt like he had to. And if you look at the fight, look at Gara, look at the position he's in, a second longer, having less sand or having not that gore behind him could have cost him the entire match and technically could have killed him. You cannot just say it's irrelevant because you need it to be irrelevant. Like I said last time, it can't be true just because you need it to be true. You need to back it up, and you have not.
Rock Lee right here attacked Gara.
Yes.
He attacked with maximum power,
Congratulations, you've earned a cookie.
maximum force that he can generate, which is this attack right here. And he was not able to finish Gara. It's obvious. It's not because
He didn't finish Gara because the situation was set up in such a way that Gara could survive. Again, had he been separated from the gore, had Rock Lee targeted another part like his head to force him to go down more like a dart, had Gara slightly hesitated and not made that sand shield when he did, or if he had less sand, he would have lost and probably would have died. And there's no reason to say not. Especially if you look at the condition that Gara's in. And again, if you want to say he gets up afterward, again, Jinchurikis have an incredible healing factor. Look at Naruto. He was able to heal an entire lung. And yes, the Kyuubi is more powerful than the other Jinchurikis. That doesn't ignore the healing factor that they get. Especially considering that Kakashi and them specifically state out that Jinchurikis have a good healing factor.
then Gara defended himself afterwards. It's because he was not able to kill Gara right here. He don't have that AP. He can't even pass through first layer of defense, which is
Okay, I'm going to stop responding to that just so we can get through this video. But again, Gara just straight out says that his armor can't withstand the beating from 5th Gate Lee.
sand armor. And all these cracks right here that Gara has, Sasuke was just cracked his face with just gateless taijutsu.
Okay, look, if we're going to go with that, then I also need to point out that at the very beginning of this, Rock Lee throws one punch before he even takes off his weights, and he punches Gara so hard that it completely destroys the lower jaw. We've already seen that, so if you want to see it, please go back to the last video. But yeah, no, Rock Lee can hit harder than Sasuke according to your logic.
So that's the thing, that he just cracked this and he was on ground on exhausted. To be fair, Gara was not as exhausted right as it looks right here. I'm not being delusional, you know?
So let me get this straight. Gara without the gates can hit harder than Sasuke, and you're admitting that Rock Lee with the gates pushes Gara harder because he's more exhausted here. Thank you for the admission.
But he was like, it's very impressive that the completely gateless Sasuke is can break Gara's face and makes him tired and all that.
He didn't punch Gara in the face there though. He punched him in the gut. Yes, when you get hit in the gut real hard, yeah, it generally tends to leave you a bit breathless. And he had been knocked to the ground because of the force put behind the punch. And so it's not like it's that impressive.
But by the way, much more stronger Gara, way stronger Gara, that Sasuke was able to break his face.
No. He gets stronger when he starts using the Kyuubi and all that, but you can't prove that he got stronger between the two fights. Outside of the Kyuubi amp, obviously. Not Kyuubi, the Jinchuriki amp, the Tailed Beast amp, the Chicago amp, whatever you want to call it.
And like, it's pretty obvious and pretty one-sided this guy says it's one-sided and it favors Lee, but it's one-sided and it favors Sasuke completely. There is no argument against Sasuke.
Okay, real fast. Let me run down the list. Rock Lee has better taijutsu skills, so if he gets in close, he beats Sasuke in combat. He knows how the Sharingan works, so he can't use the Sharingan Genjutsu. If he starts using the Sharingan, Rock Lee will start using the gates, which will get him 12 times faster within gate number 1. Sasuke would be forced to either use the curse mark to keep up, which would be really bad for him because what the curse mark does to his body at this point in time. He wouldn't be able to make the distance in order to charge up the Chidori, and even if he did, Rock Lee could just sidestep and get an opening, and if Sasuke were to miss, he'd waste that chakra. He can only do 2. And even if we want to sit there and be fair to both people, Rock Lee could just keep the pressure on, and if at any point he hits Sasuke while he's charging the Chidori, he loses all the chakra, and he's still wasted a Chidori, and he doesn't even get to use it. There.
So let's keep watching.
Yeah.
By the way, this is the Gara talking about a demon amp and all that. Talking about that, this is Gara that is willing to even. He's right here. Temari states that he don't talk. He's gonna kill you, basically. Here, and he's fully mentally amped, and he has blood. Look, he's gonna kill. Look at his face. He's like Shikaku is completely awake,
No.
and he needs blood. He's fully mentally amped, and he just got this blood and all that, which fuels Shikaku. Is fully amped prior to.
Okay, I don't think Shikaku actually eats the blood. And if you want to know why, you still see all the blood all on the ground. I think it's more symbolical. Like he's bloodthirsty, as in like he just really wants to kill. I don't think it's supposed to be literal. I could be wrong on that one though. If I'm wrong, say something. But I'm pretty sure that's not.
Fight prior to Sasuke's fight, which just starts right here. And I'm gonna show that Gaara that just Lee is literally just using taijutsu, not Lee Sasuke, by the way. Right here, Gaara
Why is
says,
this video so long?
I gave you bad tasting blood earlier. He's talking about that 2 guys he just killed. And he's saying, I'm sorry, but don't worry.
He's also talking about his mother. What? He's not talking to Shikaku. He's talking about his mother. Are you? It says it right. Ah, it's blocking. It says it right here. If you saw that before I paused, he's talking to his mother.
This time, basically,
Symbolic.
I'm sure it will be really tasty. So he's basically willing to kill Sasuke to get blood for Shikaku.
Shikaku's not a vampire. You. Don't insult him, Devin. Ken. Well, can't take that one back now. Don't insult him, Ken. No, Shikaku's not a vampire. He's not literally feeding him blood. Again, he's talking to his mother, not Shikaku. What?
So he's like fully mentally amped. We have not even like Gaara that was fighting Lee was stated to toying with Lee and then kill him afterwards, which is literally true. That statement is literally true. If without Might Guy, he would have been dead right now.
Yeah, but only because at that point in time, Rock Lee had been made completely defenseless because he had failed to beat Gar earlier. Again, he only failed to beat Gar earlier because the situation which just happened to be set up so that he could survive the attacks. He was terrified of Sasuke here. We see that, like, again, in the last video, you actually see the panels where he's imagining Sasuke just like Rock Lee, and he's doing all the same movements and all that. He's probably just afraid of what Sasuke can do.
And I don't know, like, what these people have. So let me show that Gaara. This is taijutsu. Look at Sasuke is literally has moving. Look at him. He's
Oh, you're gonna
fat.
show me here? Great.
At this time, it's not weightlessly speed, and then he's gonna move on full speed. So this is him. Uh,
Yeah, and once again, it's showing that he's afraid. Like he's comparing the two. It's right here, and even right here it says it's just like his speed. He's comparing Sasuke to Rock Lee, which means he clearly saw Rock Lee as a threat. How do you ignore that?
copying Lee's technique, taijutsu technique. So he stays almost as fast. Then here he was on the ground at that scan right here. Look at him, just taijutsu, and look at Gaara's face. He's on ground, very exhausted, and his face
Cool. Again, Rock Lee does something similar, but he destroys this entire jaw.
smashed, which Lee was not even able to pass through with fifth gate. That force.
I'm just gonna pause and let anyone who knows why that's stupid just let that sink in. I already explained it earlier. Your video is too long for this.
Let's get back to the video.
And then Lee activates the fifth gate here and is getting even stronger and faster, and literally goes for the final.
Yes, he's getting stronger and faster for himself individually. He's not. That does not mean he's superior than anyone. I'm not saying he's not superior than.
Okay. So he is getting stronger and faster, but it's only affecting him. Therefore, he's not superior to other people. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I misrepresenting clearly what you just said? Oh, I'm sorry.
Gaara in terms of speed and all that. What I'm saying is that he's not superior than any. It's that superiority is his individual level, his base level, and all amps that he gets.
Are you okay, Weeb? You're tripping over your words. Maybe you should have thought out what you were going to say here a bit more.
Final killing blow. All his sand armor has been completely torn off, meaning that.
So reason why Gaara did not demonstrate speed feats and max durability and max AP feats and all that is because he just don't need it, because Lee is trash.
I'm sorry, what? So, Gar substitutes out of a move in order to avoid getting hit. He's clearly terrified of the reverse lotus. If you look at his face right here, you can see it. He does everything he can to stop himself from taking the full blow of that move. You admit that he was more exhausted than the one hit that Sasuke does. So you actively say was proof that Sasuke was bodying Gaara. And when you look at Gaara at that point in time, he's down, and he clearly needs time to catch himself because of how much damage he took. And again, Hierarchy, better healing factor. And you're going to sit there and say he didn't need his maxed armor, maxed attack points, and all that in order to fight Lee because he's trash? I'm sorry, who's ignoring the evidence?
And then Gaara demonstrated, used his max durability, ultimate defense, and his speed feats and his transformation against Sasuke.
He didn't need, no, he would need that against Rock Lee. And by the time he realized what he was up against, it was already too late for him. So, like, yes, I'm sure you could argue that if he transformed, he would be able to beat this. Well, no, I don't even know if he'd be able to beat this Rock Lee even if he did transform, because again, he's lacking the speed. Naruto was able to hurt him, so unless you think Naruto just throws punches now greater than Faith Great Rock Lee, which there's no reason to assume he does, maybe this Rock Lee does beat Transform Gaara. Maybe he would have used it and it would have been pointless.
In Chunin exams. I'm not even talking about that.
We're talking about the Chunin exams. What?
Sasuke that fight in forest. Yeah, I mean, speed fit he demonstrated in forest, but transformation he demonstrated in tuning exams.
If Lee actually landed this blow on Gara, and Gara wasn't able to use his sand gore and use all that sand,
Irrelevant. I already debunked this.
You didn't debunk anything. All you said was that it wasn't irrelevant. That's not a debunk. That's your opinion. You've given no reason to it. I've already shown exactly why that extra sand would have helped him and why he needed it, because he clearly, if he didn't, he wouldn't have wasted the chocolate time to do it.
This that gore and that sand. The fact that Gara was able to uh, defend himself with that sand is very very impressive.
He didn't defend himself in the way you're trying to make it sound. All he did was make a cushion. That'd be like saying your car, your airbag moves. Let me think. That'd be like if you got into a crash and you were able to pull up the pillow in front of you in order to protect yourself from whatever damage you'd get from slamming your head against the dashboard. Just because you're able to move that pillow in front doesn't mean anything. It just means there's just enough time between how fast you're moving and what you're trying to do in order to do it. That doesn't make any sense, but you get what I'm trying to say. He wasn't reacting to Rock Lee. He was reacting to himself going towards the ground.
When the do like it shows that if someone has that reaction speed, that they
Water.
can defend himself. So that BS this guy told like 2 minutes ago was already just contradicted by this fact. Also, gore is irrelevant, as I said. That for that attack, that punch, Lee already like outputted that attack already on his on Gara's chest, and he was not able to finish Gara with fifth gate maximum output force. He was not able to finish Gara in the air. I'm not even talking about the ground that he defended himself from initial force.
He barely defended himself. Again, had the conditions been slightly different, Gara would have lost.
Yeah, like let's keep watching.
to protect himself from the attack, that he would have died.
Where it stated that he would died, or
Why do you keep pausing? Stop pausing, man. I just want to finish this video. It doesn't need to be directly stated. It's obvious. If you look at Gara, you look at how freaked out he is and all the precautions he does to protect himself, it's obvious he would have lost had he not protected himself. Come on. You're just arguing semantics now.
or how you got to this conclusion that he would have died if he did not use that sand. He already survived fifth gate in the air. That
He survived getting punched. That doesn't mean he'll survive the landing.
force, an initial force, would not be been that like more superior than the force that Lee attacked with that punch on his chest. Let's say Gara don't have that gore and that sand. Let's say that, right?
If he didn't have that gore in that sand, he would have hit the ground full force and would have broken every bone in his body, since the armor was breaking and failing him at that point in time. So the armor wouldn't have been able to fully protect him like it was before Rock Lee was hitting him.
Right. But Gara still has sand armor on him, right?
Barely.
So that sand armor would be enough to finish. It's to defend him, don't die or survive.
Proof.
Because Gara has Jinchuriki. Gara is Jinchuriki, and he has really good endurance.
Doesn't mean they
And,
can't be knocked out.
because endurance, skeleton stamina, and Gara's
Stamina and
Gara
endurance are
stamina
two
is
different things.
large. His reserves is large because of his Jinchuriki, which I really recommend you guys to check out my video about chakra.
Please don't. Just please don't. This is the last time I'm responding to this guy. I'm not going to check out any of his stuff anymore. Just do yourself a favor and just don't. Go look out like Seth the Programmer's swags, Noodles. Go check out them if you want that information. Now, maybe go to Batman server or Noodle server and ask Surfbone or me or Bats or even Toxic Widows, who's in the chat right now. I think we can give you a better way on how chakra and all that works in this guy. Don't torture yourself for an hour.
And stamina and all that, and 8 gates. Like, just check that video and everything will make sense if you have any questions about things I say.
Again, for the second time, being stated verbatim.
Where it stated verbatim that he would have died. It does not exist.
Shikamaru was like, it's so
Okay,
fast.
we're halfway done.
And here, this is even established.
How long is this video? Almost an hour.
Level and power and speed. Gaara's defenses are falling. Is he even human? States, is he even human? Never states it's about anyone else but to Lee. And then Neji's even in shock.
Okay.
He says, hey, Neji, this is the move I was keeping in reserve to use against you, but I'll give you a sneak preview.
The fact that he never states that is he even human, there is better feats or better statements that Gaara states on Sasuke. Their statement that literally shows that Sasuke is strongest opponent that he has ever faced, which is his own statement, and that's literally it about that's it about. I don't think it's that needs explanation. That's all about it.
Also to show.
So this is Gaara that uses that coffin jutsu and literally just breaks his other arms. This is arms that he already broke with using fifth gate, and he's literally damaged his whole body internally.
Okay, that just proves that Gaara can hurt a Rock Lee who's already has a broken arm and broken leg and can barely move. What, you don't think he could have done the same to Sasuke if he had broken an arm and a leg? What are you trying to prove here?
And yeah.
Show you guys the gore was made of sand. He used it to protect himself, meaning that if he didn't have the gore, he would have been killed.
No, he won't. It's never stated.
Okay, if we're going on the ground stuff that's never stated, it's never stated that gates only increase combat speed and that you need all 8 gates to get the 100% efficiency of your muscles. So if we're going with stuff that's not stated, you're 2 for the 1.
Something like that. And it's shown that Lee was not able to pass through sand armor. So sand armor, even without gore, would.
Why do you repeat yourself so much? And it's something that's wrong as well. Gaara specifically says his armor cannot take the pounding that the 5th gate Rock Lee is giving him.
Been enough to survive 5th gate. Initial force is irrelevant.
Why does this man talk like he's going to get advertisements?
Basically transform into sand and going all over Gaara.
So it's transforming middle of attack. So he's able to defend himself middle of attack, as I said. It's too fast. You can't even see it, as Shikamaru says, without Sharingan. Kakashi right here can track it as with Sharingan, but I was not making relation between I was not saying Sasuke Sharingan is better than Kakashi's, because Kakashi Sharingan is 3 Tomoe and Sasuke Sharingan is 2 Tomoe, but
then what's the point of even pointing out that Kakashi can track him with the Sharingan?
it gives precognition, and it does not need that, like, even with two Tomoe Sharingan, that precognition and everything Sasuke gets is just enough. Relativistic, because speed is relativistic.
Okay, base to base, yes, it is relative. But guess what? Opens gate 1, he gets dozens of times more powerful. He's now 12 times faster. They're no longer relative.
That travel speed from Chidori and, let's say, uh, Lee and um, Sasuke clash with Chidori and Fifth Gate, let's say something like that, hypothetically, right? It would be like relativistic on relativistic speed.
This way, he was able to tank the attack
Wait,
with
I'm
that
sorry, one
level
more
of
time.
It would be like relativistic, like that, hypothetically, right? It would be like, let's say some um
Okay.
Sasuke clash with Chidori and Fifth Gate, let's say something like that, hypothetically, right? It would be like relativistic on relativistic speed.
Okay, one, no, you haven't proved that Shidori increases your speed by 5 by the same speed that the 5th grade does. But even then, Sasuke can only move in a straight line. Rock Lee can move side to side. They're relativistic. I don't think Rock Lee's going to run straight into the Shidori, so let's say they are relativistic. Rock Lee moves to the side, punches Sasuke in the neck.
This way, he was able to tank the attack with that level of durability. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is durability.
He's saying he would not been able to tank.
I forgot we were talking about speed that entire time. It took an hour and 2 minutes for him to get to past their speed. Oh, goodness.
That AP, but he literally tanked, which I showed. He literally tanked that force in the air already. That initially force he was defended himself with gore was irrelevant because he already tanked that force with
Okay, prove that he could tank the force from hitting the ground without any protection.
just sand armor in the air. And he would have survived initial force 2 with just sand armor.
I'd like that he paused there because the second he went and was saying that, he realized, oh shoot, there's still the force of him hitting the ground. How do I get around this? And then instead of addressing that problem, he ignores it and goes straight back to what he was saying already.
So basically,
But why would he risk it, right? Or like why did not he why he don't want to take more damage? Obviously he's gonna defend himself. Like it's
And we're moving to the well, he did it because he could argument. Oh, that's beautiful. Unfortunately, not really how these things work. Most of the times when people like Gar at that point in time can't just tank something, they just will. The fact that he put up the sand shield behind him shows that he would have taken a great amount of damage from hitting the ground, and he was worried that that could have killed him, or at least knocked him out. We know Jinchurikis can't be knocked out, so
it's not rocket science.
you're not
from
rocket science.
we're talk about and focus on Sasuke's durability. So just from Lee's
This is when Sasuke and Lee fought first time.
Yep, you're smart.
This Sasuke is much weaker.
Oh,
taijutsu attacks with weights, remind you, is able to kick
It's
him.
this is irrelevant. This is irrelevant. This Sasuke is weaker version, way weaker than that Sasuke that fight against Gaara
way up and basically
in Chunin
do
exams.
splatter of blood, and he was able to make him bleed with multiple attacks as well. And then another durability feat from Sasuke when he's
Right here, this guy literally comparing. So like sharp object that scratches Sasuke. He thinks this is anti-fit for durability. Sharp object is like saying punch, punches force, and that scratch from sharp object by force. Force has nothing to do with scratch. It literally has to do with sharp object. And we have seen in fiction multiple times that high level durability, that characters with high level durability can be damaged by sharp objects. It's not new thing, it's not anti-fit. That's not how durability works or scales.
Fighting against Garo. Basically, he goes to punch the sand. His punch is bleeding from him attacking the sand, and he was also
Did you see that? Oh, it's almost like Weeb wasn't paying attention to the arguments. Amazing. Don't start one again. Oh, the going back. Yeah, sorry, I just had to rehear what he said.
And
Because same level of taijutsu can't. This is ultimate defense. Like, just taijutsu is not enough. Taijutsu AP, even Rock Lee's taijutsu, which is
Sasuke doesn't have the same attack potency and taijutsu AP as Rock Lee, only the speed, and you can't prove he does. I don't know.
fifth gate and all that, and every technique that Lee has was not even enough to like pass through the first layer of defense, which is sand armor.
Bleeding all over his body from Gaara's sand. So clearly showing that.
And I showed that just with taijutsu, Sasuke was able to smash Gaara's face.
And with only taijutsu, Rock Lee was able to completely destroy Gaara's face.
Sasuke's durability, you know what I mean, is nowhere near enough to be able to protect not only from Gaara's sand.
Sharp object is not anti-fit to durability.
But also, especially if Lee is landing blows from, any of his gate taijutsu attacks, or most importantly, most definitely is not withstanding any Lotus attacks from the first gate.
Bullshit. Again, like, sharp object and punch is not same thing. Sharp object
he punched the sand shield, which is able to damage his fist. You can't prove that Sasuke's taijutsu attack potency is the same as base Rock Lee's attack potency with taijutsu, and you really can't prove that it's the same as him with the gates, which would be 12 times more powerful. And if we're sitting there saying, we'll just go on.
It has initial, so basically force and plus sharp object. That's basically what this guy is comparing. This guy comparing punch with the force, and then force with.
No, he quite literally said something about this as well. So he's not just talking about the sharp object. Clearly, the whole thing was strong enough that Sasuke ramming himself into it was enough to hurt him. Which is amazing, because I do know... I haven't seen this video, but I know Weeb, and I know 100% that you're going to sit there and say his durability scales to the Chidori, which this alone disproves.
With sharp object or matter. This is literally physical material. Like, it's literally material that sand it's made out of.
Yes, most things are made of really physical materials.
Because it's contracted by chakra, its magnet release, and its density and all that. It depends on user. The chakra, how much chakra he puts into his defense or into the sand, basically.
Or even from the third gate, or especially from the fifth gate alone. So this is just to go show up Sasuke's durability. Obviously, clearly not that impressive, and unfortunately, that's something that's very...
Also, fun fact, he was able to get this shield up around Sasuke, while he couldn't do that against Rock Lee, which would prove that Rock Lee with the gates is actually faster than this Sasuke.
Very, very important.
This is not anti-fit to durability, and by the way, that's fifth gate that Gaara tanked with just sand armor, which Sasuke just crashed.
I need a bullshit button somewhere around here so I can just press it whenever I hear something like that. What? He didn't tank it. You've made claims on why he would have been able to tank it, but none of them are backed up by anything. And your only reason to prove against it is just, well, it's just he just did it because, like, you don't have any reason to why he just did it. Just kind of is.
Crashed with punches with just Aijutsu that Scanai showed. And even he was showing that when Gaara was on the ground, his face smashed. Uh, so
Garth's
again,
whole jaw was smashed
Sasuke's
off from Rock Lee's.
AP is that high, and
Rock Lee destroyed Garth's entire jaw.
therefore his durability scales to that level. That force, we are not talking about sharp object, we are talking about force from fifth gate. Force and sharp object is two different things, and it's not anti-fit to durability, and you should get educated about scaling.
Okay, if we're talking about anime, if you're strong enough, you can take sharp object based attacks. Caucus is actually a good example of this. With his Dynamorph, he's able to increase his durability to the point where he can't be stabbed. He's able to block a kunai with it. So, yeah, if you can be stabbed by something, then yeah, your durability is on that level.
My friend,
we're not friends.
Consideration for the fight. All right. So now we're going to be talking about Lee's durability, which is actually a lot more impressive compared to Sasuke, which is really interesting.
no,
So,
it's not.
basically, with
Gaara was,
Kankuro-
it stated that Gaara was literally toying with Lee, and then he was going to kill him afterwards, which he would have done it if Might Guy did not help Rock Lee.
he's
Yeah, but that's only matters with the fact that this was a Lee that his body was already completely destroyed. And if you say if Sasuke was completely covered by sand, he wouldn't have been damaged by the sand coffin.
stating the other Gar is now totally awake. If this Gar is able to catch Lee, basically, things are going to be very bad. And basically, what he's meaning is that the demon within Gara, the Jinjuriki, kind of similar to what Naruto goes with the QBI amp.
So he's literally saying even if that small amp, that the little demon amp and that mental amp, with that is enough to literally finish Rock Lee if he catches him. It's hilarious.
No, that's just what Kankuro thinks at that point in time.
That's basically what's happening here. So Gara is now in his demon amp and basically getting more stronger.
Which I just showed the scan, which shows literally Gaara was fully mentally amped and fully Shikaku, and he needed blood, and he was willing to get that tasty blood of Sasuke's, which I showed.
You also thought he was talking to Shikaku, so I don't know if you quite understand what that meant fully anyway.
And it's stated by Kankuro. And then
which literally shows that Gaara is much stronger and much more amped and much more literally everything. He used the maximum techniques, his all the capabilities. He
That's just your
transformed in
interpretation.
One Tail's forms and all that, and he was getting bodied by Sasuke.
No, he wasn't getting bodied by Sasuke once he transformed. He was actually bodying Sasuke himself. But no, that just proves that he underestimated Rock Lee. That's all that proves.
Okay.
Right here, it's also stated by Kankuro, it's fully awakened, the demon.
Also, Sasuke's not Gaara. Anything that Gaara could do to protect himself, Sasuke can't.
Gaara's inner demon, which is basically proving that Gaara is amped, meaning that Lee literally forced Gaara to go and become more amped from his Jinjuriki, from the one tail within him, getting him even more stronger, so meaning his attacks would be more amplified in power. And Lee is able to tank multiple attacks.
Here there's no forcing going on. Like Gaara is literally having fun, and literally Gaara was like toying with him. As I already said, that he was toying with Rock Lee. It's stated.
This is after the first gate. After Rock Lee had knocked Gar around and all that. Edgar thought that Rock Lee was done. He then goes to gate 2 to gate 5, where if you look at Gar and all that, he actually looks pretty terrified of what Rock Lee's doing, which is proven by the fact that when Sasuke goes up to fight Gara and he starts comparing the two, he looks terrified of Sasuke as well, and even starts to put up that really big shield to keep Sasuke away because he doesn't know what Sasuke is going to have. And if he's comparing him to Rock Lee and he doesn't know what Sasuke has, then it just proves that he believes that Rock Lee could have beat him. That was a mouthful.
Multiple.
Look at his tongue. Look at his tongue. This guy. Look at Gara's tongue, bro. Look at it.
You have a tongue fetish, don't you?
Oh my god. He's licking his
What, you can't say lips?
What's it called? Lips with his tongue.
Really?
And mind you, this is from an amped Gara.
Come on.
Look at Rock Lee. He's getting bodied. And he's saying,
Gets hit even more from
You're a very smug dude. I want you to know that.
him.
he's getting bodied, and literally his Gara is toying with Lee.
Yes, Gara can beat and hurt a crippled Rock Lee. What's your point?
Like he stated. And this guy is saying it's impressive, the durability feats. What the fuck?
He takes Gara's hits directly at that point in time while in a position where he can barely defend himself. Even in this state, I'm going to point out that he was able to dodge Gara's sand hits as well.
Not even bleeding.
Not even bleeding. Because there's no sharp object there. My friend, there's no sharp object.
You're putting way too much emphasis on the spike, again, as I was showing earlier, and everyone saw me circling. Sasuke's fist, he starts bleeding from punching the thing. Just his attack against the sand is so powerful that I was able to hurt him.
Object. It's just
Stop
sand that
hyper-focusing.
hits Rock Lee and toying that Gara that toying with Rock Lee. There's no way you are that delusional.
Alright, so now we're going to be talking
Says the one who's hyper-focusing because his points are wrong.
We're going to be comparing both AP from Lee with the Gates and Sasuke with Shidori. So Sasuke goes
Oh, I already
debunked
debunked
it.
that fifth gates AP and all this. So
Oh, thank goodness, he's going to skip.
Let me just
No, skip.
show
Do
that,
it for me. Save us some brain cells.
Sasuke's AP scales. Okay, so let's
need a
go
membership
with
for this.
Sasuke's AP
It's
feats.
painful.
This is in Chunin exam
That was a joke,
when
people.
Sasuke
I'm
was
not
against
about
Gaara,
that.
and he passed through multi-layer defense, and as we can see, Gaara was forced to transform into Shikaku form, and he literally passed through all that layer.
He transformed to Shikaku because he was comparing Sasuke to Rock Lee. He was terrified of Rock Lee to the point where he was like, yep, if I have to fight him again, I'm transforming. Shidori, I'll give you the idea that Shidori has a better piercing ability than any of Rock Lee's base taijutsu abilities, but that only gives you piercing capabilities, and he can't hit Rock Lee with it, so...
Years of defense and made Gaara bleed. We may literally significantly damage Gaara, as we can see right here, which implies that Sasuke has
better piercing abilities.
Sasuke's AP is above Gaara.
Piercing abilities.
Gaara's durability and his
Rock Lee had Gaara beat. He only was able to survive because of the circumstances he was in. I already proved this. It just proves Sasuke Shidori has better piercing capabilities. And you got to keep in mind that we're talking Rock Lee versus Sasuke here. And he can't hit Rock Lee with the Shidori. He's not fast enough and he can't charge up the chakra long enough. And he doesn't have the chakra supply to keep doing it.
his layers, that's sand armor and this ultimate defense and Shikaku defense, all that. Just Sasuke is above that durability.
No, wait.
And right here, Sasuke against
I think I missed it. I think I missed the part where he says that Sasuke's durability scales to his Shidori. No. If you say that, and he might say it later. I might have just be jumping the gun here, but if we sit here and say Sasuke scales to his Shidori his durability skills to the Shidori than Naruto's durability skills to his Rasengan. Naruto was able to take out Kabuto with the Rasengan. That would mean that base Naruto as a kid has a durability higher than Kakashi because Kabuto and Kakashi are relative, and that's just not true.
Against actually one-tailed transform Gara. So the Gara don't have one tails right here. He just has that this hand. His hand transformed.
He's laughing.
So this is still better aim than any close that Liz was not even get close to this thing.
No, it's not a better amp. You need to prove that. You're just saying it is because it's again, you're saying it because you need it to be true. It's not true because you need it to be true.
Which look at Sasuke. Sasuke splits through all this.
Yeah.
Sasuke splits through the whole hand, which is more dense than sand armor.
Prove it. Prove that.
So let's move on to other one.
Okay, no proof.
Right
Got it.
here Sasuke is against fully one-tailed, transformed Gaara, and they are clashing.
Oh, look at that. Chidori with the curse mark. Huh. Wonder if that has to affect this at all.
And literally that force is greater, and still Sasuke was able to withstand that force, so he's that AP even greater onto this level, even greater AP.
Again, he's got the curse mark active here, so I say this Sasuke had the curse mark active. So it's not a base Chidori, that's a curse mark amp Chidori.
And Chunin exams feat. This is greater feat or better feat.
Sasuke needed a transformation to do it.
Here he in this scan right here, he made Gaara bleed, as we see in
I don't
this
see no
scan,
blood there.
top scan.
Oh, there we go.
And
I see it now.
Gaara is literally bleeding. This is not so. There was argument in Mayan Chrome's.
He's using the curse mark, so it increases his power by, let's say, the full curse mark does 10 times, then this would be a 5 times increase. So that just means this Chidori, which already had incredible piercing powers, with a 5 times increase, is still able to pierce Gaara.
Debate where he's saying that this is Kurstmark Chidori that damaged this Gaara. No, this is the Sasuke that damaged this Gaara. This is aftermath. This is aftermath of this clash. And this is tiered Chidori, which Sasuke uses afterwards, and then he passes out.
Oh, are you trying to say Sasuke activated the Chidori just to have the shorty activated after he already hit the attack? Because that doesn't make any sense. And again, if you look at these panels over here, they make sure to not show us this side just for that reveal. So yeah, no, the one that hit him with the Chidori is a curse mark amp Sasuke. There's no ways around that. In fact, at this point in time, he didn't have the chakra in order to use another Chidori. It's why he needed the curse mark, so he can get the chakra.
Because he was on his limits. So after Sasuke uses Chidori 2 times, then he's gonna pass out because it's his limit. When he uses tiered Chidori, for example, he right here on with Sharingan and Kurtzmark, then he pass out because that's tiered Chidori. So two Chidori in a day is Sasuke's limits, and it's stated by Kakashi when he's training Sasuke, which I showed that scans in my debate versus Stromy. You guys can check it out that
Okay, whatever.
too. So
I'm not taking his
this
information
is
for here, though.
literally pretty obvious that Sasuke's AP is much higher than not even like Lee.
We're
Lee is
doing
not even close to
durability,
Sasuke's
you
AP even
banana.
with 5th gate. Not even close.
Oh, I thought I heard
let's
his
get
feelings
back
for a
to
second.
video.
To use Shidori, he's running down the wall. Everybody could be able to see him, and when he gets on the ground, basically he's
Where it states that everybody can able to see it. might guy here states that I see. So they are talking about that speed that Sasuke got. That they so might guy is literally talking about here. Uh, when
I think
Kakashi is
we're at
telling
23
him
minutes
that
left.
he teached Sasuke Chidori and he's like him.
33.
So he is literally telling that, and so Gara, not Gara, might guy tells him that, oh, I see. That's why you had him focus on taijutsu because of speed.
The ground's kind of getting, the ground.
So this is destructive capabilities I was talking about. That capacity of Chidori, DC of Chidori, and it's not impressive, and DC is not relevant. That it's not relevant to AP. Like DC scales can scale AP, but AP is uh,
AP stands for attack
main and
potency.
great better measurement for attack.
I
Ground
don't
and
even know what
damage,
we're
but
talking
that's
about
basically
anymore.
what's going on. You're able to clearly still see him while he's moving, and basically, it has very very powerful destructive capacity in the hand, but
Okay,
nothing
so we are
too
talking about
major.
attack potency then.
But basically, that's Sasuke with the Shidori, and then when he
I don't know when
basically
we swapped.
moves, he's able to
That's my bad.
basically strike against Gaara's
No, I did
shield
not pause it
and
there.
penetrate it deeply, and be able to bypass the ultimate defense.
Why he's not over exaggerating this? Like he been over exaggerating
And with
Rock
and
Lee.
with him using the Shidori, it was able to go through Gaara's ultimate defense, which is very very impressive because do keep in mind, it just goes to show the destructive level of power with the Shidori.
Destructive level of power, bro. That's that's the literally the chakra defense, chakra dance, Kekigenkai defense. That's literally Kara uses. DC hasn't. That's AP. That's not.
AP is the attack power behind your attack. DC is the destructive power behind your attack. So if he destroys Gaara-san's shield, that's not an AP feat, it's a DC feat because it's showing what level he can destroy.
It's not DC. It's literally when
Comics.
pass through and make Gara bleed, as I showed.
The AP would be hurting Gaara, the DC would be destroying the shield.
Oh my god, like this guy don't know AP scaling, no DC scaling, and like
You're the one who
just
thinks Naruto's
bro,
Rasengan makes him
Batman, if you
Kakashi's
are
level of
watching this,
durability.
just go and please learn about scaling.
You learn about scaling.
I'm speechless.
No, you're not.
And he was able to get
You still have like
defense
30 minutes of
also,
video here.
Pierce Gaara and be able to make him
35
bleed and
minutes.
injure Gaara. All right. So now we're going to talk about Rock Lee's AP. So basically, what's here, Rock Lee states an amazing defense. He case in protection, which makes my speed irrelevant. My only shot is just to keep pounding, punishing that out of.
Look, Rock Lee literally states it's amazing defense is enhanced in protection, which makes my speed irrelevant. So Rock Lee literally states it's not just Gaara's defense, because
He also says his only shot is to keep pounding and punishing the sand. So that means he believes that if he throws enough hits, he can get through it. Which means he does have the attack destructive capability to eventually get through the sand. And once he gets through the sand, he'd have the AP to hurt Gaara, because if Gaara had the capability of protecting himself, or his base defense was as powerful as his sand, clearly he wouldn't use it. He'd just use the sand to attack.
that speed is irrelevant that
The
he gets
Lotus.
from Gates. Because it has to perform technique, and the main thing of that technique is AP that he gets, enchants the AP he gets, basically, by sacrificing himself. So that's so bad. Like, why people can't deeply analyze. It literally states that his speed is irrelevant. Yeah. was literally defending with sand, but he can't pass through that sand. He don't have that. He
He's flat out saying that if he hits it enough times, he can get through it. You're ignoring this entire half of the panel that you're reading, man.
don't have that AP or anything.
A layer of sand, and then he eventually thinks the lotus and looks up at Guy, and then Guy basically states verbatim the lotus be enough to bypass that thick thin layer of sand and will stand up to it, meaning killing Gara.
Or just beating him.
Uh, what's it for at high speed? A thin layer of sand won't stand up to it. So this is being contradicted because fifth gate literally. Gara think the fifth gate with just sand armor that
No,
the
he
thin layer of
didn't.
defense. So this is fifth gate.
No, he didn't tank it with just the sand armor. He uses his entire gore to protect himself. And even the hidden lotus, he substitutes out of it. Its sand armor gets completely destroyed from just the hidden lotus. No.
Even much way stronger attack. They was not able to do shit to Gara.
Gara was
which just that
hurt.
sand armor. And this guy is saying that he won't have died. Like, how delusional is this guy?
How many times do you have to
I
repeat
just
yourself?
don't understand.
To bypass that thick thin layer of sand and will stand up.
An hour of this video is you repeating yourself,
Maybe it's
man.
some type of
Why?
illness. I'm not sure.
And then Rock Lee's able to kick him and get him up.
Why? Just why?
And do keep in mind, the only reason why he wasn't able to launch Gara up is because Gara actually has a massive amount of weight due to all the sand he put on his body, which is also stated verbatim, and I will show that as well, which is why
You don't need to show anything. He has sand, and yes, sand has
Very
weight.
important. I will explain why.
It
No,
means
it's not important.
he was taking
a
extra
whole
damage
bunch of
that he
sand
didn't
over
need
his
to,
body,
which could have been
taking
used
extra
to
armor of
put more
sand.
power
It's a
into the attack. So his Lotus actually should have been more powerful than it was, and the fifth hit should have been more powerful than it was.
Yeah, we already know that.
You don't know shit.
Sand armor. This is sand armor, basically.
Basically,
This is
from
how it look.
Gara
Look.
can-
By the way, this literally shows that sand armor is on that gore too. You guys can see that, right? That
I think it's
layer.
just because they didn't want to.
So he can then he
They
can
wanted the gore to
transform
stay on his
that
back
gore into
to keep
sand
the
too. This is made out of
Picture
sand,
good.
and he was able to do that in middle of like fifth gate attack. That
It
reaction
was at the
speed
end.
was superior than fifth gate. By the way, like as funny it sounds, like it's literally fact.
created thin
It's
shell
literally
that cover him
facts.
to protect his entire body, controlling by the force as well, different from the sand shield where the grains automatically filter from a protective barrier.
So if someone has a reaction speed, that level which Sasuke has greater than Gaara, obviously because he has precognition, then they can defend themselves by literally precognition.
No. No, Gar was able to do what he did because he already had this stuff on his back. And he was able to make the sand before he hit the ground. And even then, he barely does it. Precognition of Sasuke would do him no good. What's he going to do? Land on his arms? Land on his feet? What is he going to turn around and land straight on his feet? Yeah, I don't think that's going to go well for his knees.
Which Gaara don't even has, and which he defended himself. And that statement that says that no one can defend from fifth gate on that technique and all that. It's everything is contradicted on multiple occasions.
I'm ignoring this until he gets to an actual point.
It's literally facts.
Barrier. Basically,
I'm
At least
just,
one that he hasn't said
like,
already.
Speechless. Like this guy, like gives more statements more.
True,
This guy gives statements more value, but it's literally contradicted after 2 seconds. So like, can you analyze, bro?
armor is actually one of the weak points. It's protection of his last resort. He said it's not
About
automatic
30
the way the
minutes.
shield is. It requires a massive outpouring of chakra, which weakens Gara.
Yeah, I already
Its
talked
defensive
about
strength
this.
is less than that of the sand shield. It says the sand itself is lined against his skin. It increases the weight of his body, so he must expend more physical strength just to even move. Meaning it's a double-edged sword, and really puts Gara at a
It's
disadvantage.
not double-edged sword for Gara because Gara is Jinchuriki. He has like so much stamina, so
Okay, the double-edged sword here is he's got that protection, but he's massively slower, making him a target. I don't think you know what a double-edged sword is.
much chakra, all that he can use that for days, and he can have that on himself.
It makes
He's
him
literally
slower.
walks with that defense. It's literally stated.
It makes him slower. It makes him an
when
open
when
target, man.
the Lee cracked at first time that defense, when Lee cracked it, it's literally Kankuro literally states that that's his first layer of defense, which way was introduced at first.
Severe disadvantage. And Conqueror even states if Gara has been driven to use an armor, then right now his mind is purely on defense, and meaning he's been driven to a corner, proving that Lee is very strong, so strong.
Why it's proving that Lee is strong? Because Gara is focused on defense, because he's not like he don't want to, he's not even using his full potential as it's shown in later.
No, you haven't proved that.
He's literally just toying with Rock Lee, which is stated.
Okay, let's sit here and say he's not using full potential. Let me give you that argument again. All that proves is that he's underestimating Rock Lee. That's all it's proving.
And we literally have seen it. He's not going all out. Not even close to all out.
To literally force Gara into a corner.
This guy makes funny interpretations. And very delusional.
You like to call people delusional, don't you?
Gara that because of the amount of weight.
Who even makes that argument, bro?
And due to the amount of weight, unfortunately, that created an opening for Gara, to where since he was having to do all those combos and while using the first gate, which gives an ridiculous.
That substating jutsu, that body flicker, that substitute jutsu was not required here, but he still used it. Obviously, if he can use it, then he will use it. But when he was not able to use it, when Rock Lee attacked him with a fifth gate, right? Then he did not use that jutsu, right? But
Because he couldn't get
kept
away.
it, fifth gate, which is way stronger than this attack.
He was only able to use the substitution for the Hidden Lotus because Rock Lee hesitates for a second. He closes his eyes, which allows him to jump out of his sand shield. He wasn't able to do it here because that doesn't happen.
Amount of strain on the human body, even stated by Guy, even an ordinary Lotus move.
Well, this is the Hidden Lotus.
A great strain of the.
But the reverse
body.
Lotus, you know what I
How
meant.
many consecutive kicks may be too much even for Lee. Better make your next move a decisive one, kid. So, meaning, the only reason why he wasn't able to kill Gara was because it created an opening due to the amount of pain, because he had to do so many kicks due to the weight of Gara from the sand.
Yeah, it's trash. It's trash.
He said, yeah, everyone, you heard him. You heard Weeb. He's admitting right now that Rock Lee could have killed him had he had gotten him up in the air faster, which means the Hidden Lotus was good enough. Thank you, Weeb.
We get it that Rock Lee's gates is trash, and he don't have durable body to even sustain that for even one technique. He's trash.
And that basically, gave Gara the opportunity to do a sand.
He conceded the point that mattered there. I don't care about anything else. He's
where
wrong,
it's
but
stated, where? Show the statement where it says that he won't been killed by it. It does not exist. It's your interpretation and all completely over exaggerated.
fine. I'll say it wouldn't have killed him. Still would have hurt him and taken
Bro,
him out. Otherwise, he wouldn't have
stop
substituted
it.
out.
Just stop it, bro.
You stop it.
And just to show you the attack capacity of the Lotus,
Sorry, I need water, people.
goes right into the ground, and basically from there. So, therefore, meaning if Gar didn't have all that amount of weight, he would have been launched up into the air and then been Lotus and would have been killed on the spot.
Oh, yeah, obviously, like this gate, this one gate or second gate would have killed Gara,
Conqueror
but
thought it beat him.
fifth gate, little Gara tanked it, right?
You don't know what it means to tank something, do you? Because he didn't.
So to second gate would have killed Gara, but fifth gate, he tanked it. Like, we just seen it, bro.
Now we're going to look at his AP and destructive capacity when he's in the fourth gate. So literally just from him taking a single footstep, and it's even shown here, right?
Irrelevant. This is irrelevant. Main thing and main focus we have here is AP. AP is main best measurement for that capabilities of attack potency of character.
AP is attack potency, you banana.
He's able to destroy the entire stadium around him and move so quick and immediately speed blitz Gara.
AP is not a measure. Is not the best way to measure attack potency. It is attack potency.
Basically, to where Gara is all
That's like saying the color blue is the best way to measure what the color blue is.
the way in the air. So meaning he has so much power and strength and speed that even with the amount of
Oh, so much that he can do that to everyone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why not?
Even Sasuke did that, bro.
No, he didn't.
Without gates.
No, he didn't.
Sasuke literally launched Yoroi without gates. And
What?
he don't have that speed or he don't have that strength that when he had against Gaara, because that second stage he was not been trained to Kakashi at that time frame or timeline.
That timeline? Okay.
So gateless, weaker Sasuke, gateless, launched Yoroi and copied the same jutsu.
Yori weighs less than weighted Gara. Prove that Sasuke can do the same thing to somebody who is much heavier. You can't. In fact, I think if I remember correctly, there's a scene in one of the later on in the anime where he tries that against somebody who's a bit on the bigger side and it fails. Or it was Naruto. But either way, you can't prove that he could have done the same thing to Gara. But Rock Lee definitively can. He does it.
To be fair, I don't think it was as effective as Rock Lee's. Rock Lee would have done it, but like it clearly shows.
Are you kidding me? It's not as good as what Rock Lee. So Rock Lee can do it better. You're admitting that. Thank you.
That it's not impressive thing, and this guy is literally so he launched. Oh my God, that speed and that godly attacks and power. Like, come on, bro.
Come on,
Stop
bro.
being delusional.
Prove he's delusional and prove why he's delusional.
Body with all the sand was able to launch him up in the air immediately. She's clearly showing it right here. And then Lee's moving so fast that nobody could be able to see him. Even Choji's like, what about Lee? I don't see him anywhere.
And was covering Lee.
Oh,
don't you think that's the reason that they can see him? Not because of the speed or that he's moving in like you know.
I'm assuming he's saying something about the smoke, but no, they can see Gara, so that doesn't make any sense.
Lee, I don't see him anywhere. Lee starts hitting Gara and moving so quick where he's just bouncing him all the way around.
Right here, this is, as I said, this demonstrates perfectly that it's travel speed.
No, because he's throwing punches at that speed as well, and he's able to react to that speed as well. Just because he gets a travel speed increase doesn't mean everything else doesn't increase as well. And you would have to prove why they wouldn't. We know Chidori only does that because Sasuke can't maintain the speed, he can't throw hits at that speed, and he can't he can't react at that speed without the Sharingan.
Bounces this is literally that. It's like Chidori, that's tunnel vision, the Chidori. That direction is just already,
No.
It's not rocket science to understand it.
You can't explain it, so.
Combat speed is different.
Over and over and over.
Combat speed is the speed at which you can do combat. Travel speed is the speed at which you can travel. Reaction speed is the speed at which you can react. The names are self-explanatory. Rock Lee can travel at the speeds of the gates, so it increases travel speed. He can react at those speeds while moving at those speeds, therefore he has the reaction speed. He can throw punches and kicks and maintain battles within that form, therefore it increases combat speed. Like you said, it's not rocket science. The only difference is I don't have an agenda.
Whipping up all his sand.
Combat speed is something that is sustainable and literally that stat and
combat speed itself is the speed which you can do combat in. It doesn't necessarily have to be 100% sustainable as long as you do combat in some way within that form for a period of time. Obviously, again, the Chidori only does travel speed. He can do it in combat, but he can only go a straight line with it. The gates to combat speed because, again, you see him bouncing around. He's able to throw punches and able to think with the moves he's going to do. So it is combat speed.
That speed you have on daily basis, on regular basis. This is travel speed.
No,
armor and peeling it off.
It doesn't have to be a regular basis. Naruto doesn't always have the KCM cloak on. It doesn't only increase combat speed.
And even Neji showing inferiority and being in fear of Lee, but it's only Lee. How did he get so powerful?
Very powerful.
He activates the fifth gate.
Don't mock Neji.
Neji
didn't do anything to you.
Basically, from here, he hits Gaara in the stomach, launches him back up, and then does the lotus.
Sorry about the background noise.
Bandages around him or anything like that.
Look this. Even this guy showing this. He punched and Gaara survived. Right here, he did not finish him. He don't have that force. Done deal. Right here. Just this scan and one scan I showed which made Gaara bleed is enough to already just win debate. Right on the point.
And then you would have won the debate instead of losing 6.
Right there.
He was.
We already went through this.
Shikamaru staged it so fast you can't even see him.
Yes, Shikamaru says it. And Akashi can track it, which is Sharingan, which implies that Sharingan can track it.
Kakashi is massively more powerful than Sasuke, so that doesn't prove that Sasuke can track it, though. I'm keeping these things simple. We're towards the end.
That fifth gate.
I just want it to be done.
Thing to remember, this just also goes to show that he's moving so quick. It's like he's in a whole other.
We're at like 14 minutes left.
Insane level of speed, mind you. All right, so now we're going to be talking about the narrative comparison with Lee between him and Sasuke and how they perform against Gaara. So basically, Lee. Sorry.
There's one thing that Sasuke literally makes Gaara bleed, and there is fifth gate Lee, which can't even pass through first layer.
Oops,
which is
wrong button. He was only able to make him bleed with the Chidori. And again, Chidori is a non-factor. Rock Lee can avoid it or just cancel it by staying on top of Sasuke and hitting it before he can charge it. So, yeah. But also, Gaara is pretty terrified of Rock Lee throughout this fight. And he even imagines Rock Lee when he's fighting Sasuke as well, showing that even when fighting somebody like Sasuke, he's comparing his capabilities to Rock Lee, which is why he's afraid of him. So there, narrative.
There's nothing else.
Faster.
Oh, I can predict him. I knew he was going to say nothing else.
Speed increase, where he's able to literally.
It's irrelevant. It's like Chidori that Sasuke charged that Gaara.
Speed blitz Gaara over and over and over, immediately teleporting behind him before he could even realize.
So basically, to explain that travel speed in combat and how they relate. So basically, travel speed, if someone has superior travel speed, it guarantees attack.
No.
So if someone has
what? Someone has superior travel speed and guarantees that. What? What you talking about?
Superior travel speed, basically, it guarantees attack to hit that target to speed blitz, basically.
No.
But first, to get to that point, to get to fifth gate, you have to open every single gate, and then you have to have that AP to finish your opponent.
No, you can open straight to whatever gate you want. They do it in the war. They jump straight to gate 6. What?
To so Lee has none. Lee has none against Sasuke. He's not even close to Sasuke.
Punching, getting closer and closer.
This is just weightless.
Him and is able to hit him and land a clear blow. Quick turn and really fast. And
So
right
he's just going over speed and
it's
Show it. Show it. There it is. That's what I was talking about earlier, people. Look at that. Thank you. The proof has been shown for me. This is what Rock Lee does with one punch directly to Gaara's jaw. Sasuke only gets this part cracked. Rock Lee gets all of this. Thank you. My evidence has been shown. My burden of proof has been satisfied finally. If only I wasn't lazy.
Had to put sand armor on his face again.
He just replaced it. The cracked sand armor. He just
This is Rock B bodying Gaara because he destroyed armor. That was awful. I apologize.
replaced it. We've seen that
which is shown here.
armor. Yes, he's putting on that.
And you can even see how much damage Gaara has already taken just from weightless Lee. All the cracks and everything all over his body and face. Cracks and everything.
Look, Gaara is standing. Not exhausted. So this all literally shows that Sasuke's taijutsu, weightless taijutsu, to gateless taijutsu, and Lee's taijutsu, Sasuke's taijutsu is already superior than Lee's.
That was a bad wind blast.
Look in this scan. If this was Sasuke, Gaara would have been on the ground. His face smashed, which I showed it. And
he was on the ground. His face was smashed. It was just shown a second ago. What are you talking about?
And which Rock Lee don't have that AP. He's below AP of Sasuke. He's below than Sasuke's AP. And when he opens gates, then he gets relativistic. And this is literally over-exaggerated. The impressive, it looks impressive, I get it. It's all these statements, everything looks impressive, but it's just over-exaggerated and nothing else.
Why is it over-exaggerated? I want you to prove it. You can't prove it. Again, if you're going to sit there and make claims without any evidence, I can dismiss it without evidence. And yes, I know at some point you'll see this video and respond that I haven't shown evidence. I'm using the evidence on screen. Also, there's a part 1 to this. Go check that out, because also some of the stuff that I've said have also been proved there as well. And yes, it does count towards this, because it is just the videos being split up. So it is still part of the same conversation.
Else.
All over his body and face.
Skip all this way. I already showed all these scans. I will skip a little bit because this video is already too long. I already went through this.
Because you keep repeating yourself, man. Stop repeating yourself.
Using same.
You're making me repeat myself.
And moving like Lee and stuff because he copied at the first time when they fight.
Performance, speed, AP, durability, and also narrative performance between the two characters. We're basically going to
narrative performance completely negs Rock Lee, bro. Sasuke literally made Gaara bleed.
Rock Lee literally forces Gaara to do some of the most desperate tactics that we see. And even if we ignore Rock Lee's fights that we never saw it, he mentally compares Rock Lee and Sasuke together, which is the reason why he puts the shield around him, because Sasuke only gets 3 hits in. So he doesn't show Gaara what he's fully capable of. So the only thing Gaara knows is that he has the same speed and he's copying Rock Lee's movements. So he's clearly afraid of what he has based off what he knows about Rock Lee. So narratively, he's still terrified of Rock Lee to that point that he has that trauma.
nothing against that,
That was the weirdest way of saying that.
Basically determined very, very
which
one-sided
Rock Lee
battle.
never did.
Lee's
Okay, I'm gonna try to say that one more time. He's traumatized by Rock Lee to the point where finding somebody who he sees as similar, he's instantly starts going to more drastic measures.
just unfortunately very superior.
Only 15 minutes left, guys. We
This
got
guy
this.
says Lee is very superior and all that. This guy says that. Come on.
Sasuke is just unfortunately not able to win. Not only is it because
There
of the
is
draft,
there is no way this guy actually thinks that. There
How
is
did you get
no
6
way.
minutes, 15 more minutes out of 6 minutes of a
between
video?
the two characters. But for one, Sasuke does not have the durability to withstand Lee's attacks. He doesn't have Gaara's sand. He doesn't have Gaara's sand armor.
I already
And,
debunked all
you know,
this.
unfortunately,
Didn't
there's
debunk
just,
shit.
Literally stated to, or the can't
You're
really
fast
defend
forwarding
himself, can't do
too?
anything.
Seriously, how'd you get another 15 minutes out of
Just
this?
in the air.
Oh, some of it's filler
Sasuke's
fluff.
characteristics is that he's not trying to like he's not defense oriented, he's attack oriented. So like he can take
Did he just say Gaara's not defense oriented?
and he can survive attacks by endurance and durability, but his characteristics is not defensive oriented.
And why is due to the fact that he doesn't have the amount of weight that Gaara has with all the sand.
Oh, okay. Hopefully he was talking about Sasuke.
Sand, which
He better been talking about
sand
Sasuke.
Ultimate defense, which Sasuke passed through.
Attack potency doesn't automatically equal durability. Your attack potency can be massively above your attack potential. Shukaku is specifically known for his defensive capabilities, while Kurama is known specifically for his attacking power and his overall chakra.
Literally went through that, which shows that Sasuke has force to withstand that AP.
No, again, he punches the shield and it hurts his hand. His Shidori is able to pierce through because it has piercing capabilities. But just because that's true doesn't mean he can take attacks on that level. Again, his regular fist hitting it at full force damages him. And not even talking about the sharp stuff. Let's ignore the spikes and all that because that's irrelevant to his fist damaging itself, just punching it.
And even higher.
And basically, Sasuke be launched in the air, get Lotus. He wouldn't have that split moment or opportunity to be able to do a substitute.
Why he can't? Why he can't do that? Why he can't do same thing?
Because Gar was only able to do it because he had the sand shield around him, so he didn't have to move anywhere in order to actually substitute. He was just able to jump out of the sand shield. Sasuke won't have that. He'd have to actually get something to substitute with himself, and he won't be able to leave where Rock Lee is fast enough in order to do it. Basically,
Same thing as Gaara.
also Rock Lee's faster as well. You'd have to prove that Sasuke is faster without the Chidori or anything. And first gate, Rock Lee is definitely faster than base Sasuke. So even if he said that he did have something that he could substitute out with, it wouldn't mean he'd be able to.
Gaara did that substitution on body flicker or anything. It's like why he can't do that?
You'd have to explain why he
you are
could.
make no sense. Like you are making you are literally making narration right now. Like you are rewriting Naruto.
No, he's giving the reason why narratively he thinks Rock Lee beats Sasuke. He's not rewriting Naruto. I might rewrite Naruto in the near future. I think I could have some fun with that. That's definitely a video idea. Still working on Yu-Gi-Oh, but
And he would be
I might redo Yu-Gi-Oh.
Basically from the blow. And even if you didn't want to grant that to Lee, and let's say Sasuke is able to somehow substitute or survive, then basically he just activates the second gate. He's even faster and stronger now.
So this guy thinks like Sasuke is punching bag and he's not hitting back or something. Like I don't think what this guy thinks. Like you think like Sasuke is punching back, bro?
And basically,
I have no idea what he tried to argue there.
Can speed blitz and do it again, or
he was just triggered
immediately into the third gate, do the reverse lotus, or
what stops Sasuke with Chidori with superior speed to run up and just one shot Lee. What stopped?
You haven't proved he has superior speed, and Rock Lee can just sidestep because he has to run in a straight line with the Shidori, or he hits him before he charges up the Shidori, or he stays on him to the point where he can't even start to charge up the Shidori. That's three reasons that stops him from doing that.
Him? What stops Sasuke to do that?
He really wants to go overkill. He could just go to the fourth or fifth gate, speed blitz, and kill Sasuke. And unfortunately, I know you guys are probably out there screaming out.
Imagine saying Fifth Gate would have killed Sasuke, that guy with like stamina, literally stamina of Jinchuriki level stamina. And
Imagine, I'm gonna say this right now. Imagine if instead of like just going for the move like he usually does, imagine if he had hit Sasuke that many times to launch him like twice as high as Gaara, and then goes for the hidden lotus, doing Sasuke can't substitute, so he can't stop stuff from taking that damage, and now he's taking the damage from twice as high as what people normally would be able to do, and twice as high as what Gaara did. That's a fun one.
Jinchuriki level literally AP and all that. Imagine saying that Rock Lee's second gate would have killed Sasuke. Imagine saying that. How you are this delusional?
Imagine saying that your attack potency automatically scales to your durability, and then trying to say that that scales Sasuke to his Shidori, and then ignoring the fact that that would mean that Naruto's Rasengan as a kid was able to take out Kabuto, who stayed relative to Kakashi, which would then put Naruto's durability on the same level or above Kakashi's. Imagine saying that.
No, bro. How?
I know, right? How? It's almost like you're crazy.
So forth, etc. Unfortunately, the Shidori isn't a winning factor either because
Nope.
Sasuke literally needs time in order to summon the Shidori.
Oh, Sasuke needs time, that animation delay, but Rock Lee's gates don't have any delay, right, bro?
He states that he needs to charge it.
Rock Lee's gates literally have more delay than Sasuke's Chidori.
Prove it.
Sasuke can literally charge Chidori on the move.
It's literally stated
He can charge it while on the move.
It's going to take some time too. He says it's no good, just
No, not like completely charge it, but when he...
Okay, I'll get here and give you the idea that he can charge it while moving. If he gets hit while trying to charge it and he loses focus, he loses the charge and he still loses the chakra, which still counts as a full Shidori being wasted. So if that happens two times, he can't use the Shidori, and if he tries to force a third one, he becomes paralyzed.
He charges enough, he can move afterwards, and he can literally slice through the ground as we seen and demonstrated.
I figured he shut himself up inside. I don't know what he's up to, but it's fine by me. This thing of mine, it's going to take time. He's referring to using Shidori. So meaning Sasuke won't even have the time to use Shidori because Lee would just be pressuring him the entire time and will literally speed blitz him and kill him.
That's true.
And that's
let's say Sasuke just don't moving, that just charges Chidori, right? And it's like then its quantification is needed. And let's say Sasuke charges and he has Sharingan and he can see that Rock Lee is sprinting at him.
Okay, let me tell you how this is going to work. If he tries to charge the Shidori without the Sharingan, Rock Lee can hit him because he won't have the precognition dodge his hits. If he activates the Sharingan, Rock Lee activates Gate 1, and then he'll be up so fast that the precognition is going to be a non-factor. If he tries to use the curse mark, he goes up in gates, and then then Sasuke just messes himself up because of the curse mark. If he gets hit by anything in the moves while Rock Lee's in Gate 1, Lee wins. He doesn't have the durability to take it. You haven't proven it. You've given us no reason to think that he could.
And then he can literally just use his Chidori as defensively and...
What? What? He can use his Shidori defensive?
Like block the kick, which will literally...
He can block the kick with Shidori.
Literally slice.
He can block the kick with Shidori. This isn't the right Kage. It's lightning cloak, buddy. That's not how this works.
Rock Lee's feet or a hand or anything that he punches with. It will slice him, bro,
Basically,
without moving. Like Gara,
He could hit him in the head and not the lightning in his hand. If I wanted to give you that argument, why would he hit the lightning that he's holding and not kick him upside the head? If the lightning's near his head, why not just punch him in the guts?
Gara,
How
like
stupid do
he
you
will,
think Rock Lee
Sasuke
is?
just will stand like Gara, charges Chidori, and he just broke his kicks
I
and
know,
all that,
right?
or
That is a
anything
new
that can be
one.
got with just uh just Chidori,
Also, welcome to the stream.
He don't need to move or anything. He can track with Sharingan, even fifth gate. He can track it with precognition.
Why? What are you basing that off of? Because Kakashi was able to track him with it? He's not as powerful as Kakashi. Kakashi's leagues above what this Sasuke is. You'd have to prove that he's on that level, and that Rock Lee at that point in time could have just like sidestep him then.
And he can literally use Chidori as defensively, and he just win by that. He don't need speed. He don't need anything. That
What do you mean by that?
travel speed is
What do you mean he can use it defensively? It's not like he can just stand there with his Chidori and just hold it the whole time. He's going to run out of chakra like that.
basically irrelevant at this point. Like Rock Lee has no win con against us.
This man's really struggling to come up with ways that Sasuke can win, to the point where he's like making up like what Sasuke can do with the Chidori. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure Sasuke can just stand there with the Chidori active the whole time and just like wave it around like he's in Skyrim or something.
Sasuke.
where it's at. Unfortunately, these attacks will be able to bypass Sasuke's durability. His speed is drastic.
Where it's shown. Where it's shown, even completely weaker Sasuke.
Gaara stayed to get faster than his base form with the cloaked active. Sasuke's barely able to dodge it, but he's still able to dodge it. So that shows that those two are still relative with even with the Sharingan active. Rock Lee with Gate 1 is able to move so fast that Gaara-san can't even keep up, showing a massively superior speed to Gaara and his San. San was able to keep up with weightless Rock Lee, which shows that the San and weightless Rock Lee are relative, meaning Gaara with the tail transformation is slightly faster than weightless Rock Lee. Wow. With the gate, he's massively faster.
Was bleed from the mouth that it passed through durability. That kick, literally a physical kick, right? And it's passed through that, and that force internally that made Sasuke bleed. Basically, at first when Sasuke was much weaker. That's what he's referring right here.
No, it's
there's
not.
no other scan or nothing that shows that Lee made pass through Sasuke's durability.
You're assuming that Rock Lee couldn't have gotten any stronger by the time that happened and when he fights Gaara. So you're saying he's making the mistake of saying Sasuke doesn't get any stronger? Well, I unironically doing the same thing to Rock Lee.
Or nothing. And the only other thing is shown that Gaara's
13 minutes. We got this.
Object, which is that tip of that Gaara's ultimate defense, that's made scratch on Sasuke's face, which is like it's not anti-fit to durability.
Him punching the shield and getting hurt from that is though.
Of his speed increase with the first gate alone from his.
That's right. I slid that in while I could.
The second gate makes him stronger. The third gate makes him faster and stronger to where he can. And the
bullshit.
Stated for him to be.
He thinks he's so sly.
Neji out of all characters, which is also stated by Guy as well.
This is my longest stream so far.
Okay.
Overall.
By the way, it's stated that Neji is faster than Rock Lee. Actually.
Base Rock Lee without his weights, which means he's faster than this Sasuke. And if he's faster than this Sasuke, but he's terrified of first gate Rock Lee, what does that tell you? Maybe a little. Nah, I'm sure it's fine.
Actually.
That's basically going to be it for this video.
What was that? I've never done that before in my life.
And I really wanted just to come out and show this video because I just don't understand why there's so much confusion on this topic. I don't understand why it's even heavily debated.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
I don't get either, bro. Let's conclude this. Like, first, Sasuke's AP is way higher.
Okay, I'm not gonna go with the conclusions. Well, okay. What do you guys think? Should we do the conclusion fast, or should we stop it here? Real fast. People in the chat, what do you think? Okay, I guess we'll finish up the conclusions then. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same stuff though.
Than Rock Lee's because Sasuke made much stronger Gaara with multiple layers of defense bleed. So
Okay, so he was only able to make him bleed because he has the piercing powers to do that, which is fine. I'll sit here and say that if he hits Rock Lee with the Chidori, he kills him. Whatever. That's not a problem because he'd have to get the Chidori off. Let's say he doesn't need to charge the Chidori. Rock Lee has the speed to sidestep him in base. It's not hard to sidestep the Chidori. Even Hokage Kakashi was so terrified at the idea of someone sidestepping and countering, he created a whole new form of jutsu, the purple lightning, in order to deal with this, and that would be KCM levels of speed. And if he's able to sidestep him even twice, then Sasuke's wasted up all of his chakra and would have to use the curse mark, which leaves him paralyzed, which leaves him open for all of Rock Lee's hits.
And to compare to Rock Lee, which fifth gate he was not able to pass through just sand armor. That's it. There's nothing else to say about AP. Then
1 second. Sorry, I'll be right back again. They're not here. They're not here. They're not here, buddy. They're off their beds. Okay. I think they'll be back tomorrow, though. I'm back. Sorry about that.
travel speed. Even travel speed are relativistic with Chidori and 5th gate
Travel speed, sure. Combat speed, no. Reaction speed, no.
and Chidori is relativistic travel speed.
Wait, did he say travel speed is relativistic to 5th gate's travel speed? Because that's a lie.
Which I already proved all that. Combat speed is relativistic to weightless is stated. Weightless speed, Lee and Sasuke is little.
No, they're not relativistic because he needs the Sharingan in order to get himself up to that, just to perceive just with the Chidori and all that. So no, it's not relativistic.
Relative to each other.
Base to
Sasuke
base,
and
maybe,
Lee.
not base to
It's
gates.
stated, we shown that, proved that travel speed relativistic, combat speed relativistic, relative, and AP is way higher. So
I
let's
don't understand why people come out with
let's-
certain narratives.
so AP durability, AP scales to durability.
AP does not scale to durability. AP does not scale to durability because if that's true, like I've said twice already, I mean Naruto as a kid has higher durability to Kakashi since he's able to beat Kabuto with a Rasengan, who is stated to be relativistic to Kakashi. Also, fun fact: this would also mean that his AP is more higher than Tsunade's because Kabuto is able to hurt Tsunade, which means he'd have durability on that level. Which means, unironically, with this statement, Naruto one-shots Orochimaru. Yeah, for anyone who thinks that this even sounds smart to say AP scales to durability, you're unironically saying that Naruto, as a kid with only the Rasengan, one-shots Orochimaru as far as if it goes, because Orochimaru wouldn't have the attacks to hurt Naruto, but Naruto would have the capability of one-shotting Orochimaru.
Which I proved
Yes, I
that,
can
that
with
he
that on
was
the
able
spot.
to withstand force, way greater force than just Chidori, because when they clashed, Gaara and Sasuke clashed on higher force. Also explained why scratch and sharp objects.
I don't
is
care
not
about the scratch.
anti-fit
I
to
care about his fist.
durability. I proved it.
I don't care about the scratch. I care about his fist, and his fist, him hitting the attack, damaged him instead. So if anything, he has less attack potency than that thing has defensive capability.
Like explained literally in fiction, like we've seen multiple times that sharp objects can harm really really durable
Yeah, we also seen the opposite. What's your point?
characters, and it's not a new thing. And this guy just, and most people just don't know how durability scales, and they don't understand mechanisms and what's thought process behind these logics and all that, and they just logic fallacy, like they just failing to understand
What's the
like certain
fallacy?
things.
Oh, you make my life better.
So AP speed.
Sorry, my buddy, this little kitty came up to me. She makes my life better, not weeb. Just had to clarify that.
Travel speed, durability, all that we explained.
Does durability skill to your hand to hand AP? Depends on. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'd have to look into it and put some more thought into that. You could say that the amount of force that you could put within your hands and all that could scale. The amount of force that you could put into your hands, you should be able to take as well because of Newton's law. But that doesn't take into the fact that if you were to punch a wall, like if you, let's say you take a wall that can take your force, if you were to punch a wall, you would actually break a lot of the bones in your hands and maybe even your arm, because your arm can't take the force of itself going directly into itself. And the reason why your arm can't throw out punches then is because all the energy isn't necessarily thrown back into your arm. I don't know. I'll make a video explaining it a bit better, but no. The answer is no and yes, depending on how you look at it.
What else?
Cats are amazing, aren't they?
Certain things.
Yes, most statements, most and not every, maybe even every statement has been were over exaggerated, and it's been contradicted in almost like in second scan. That statement all been
Specifically
made,
the
like,
second scan.
it's been contradicted in like literally seconds or after the scans, shortly contradicted. Literally, I showed it.
Okay, you can go.
Even this guy showed it, but
The cat's tired
he's
of this bullshit already.
delusional to the point that he can't recognize it.
Cat said, "Fuck this."
Um, what else? Like, I don't think there's anything. So also that counter, I want to talk about that some people.
How's this man gonna go and say there's nothing else to talk about, then go on to another point?
Has this argument that Sasuke
Why is this man
counters
wasting my time?
Gaara, and that's literally not true. It's
He does counter Gaara though. He has the lightning blade, which is it's a piercing based attack, which helps deal with his sand defenses and all that, and it's the elemental opposite, which means it has the advantage as far as its elemental status. So it's got the attack typing and the elemental typing in order to go through everything Gaara has. Yeah, Sasuke is a counter. He also has a Sharingan, which is used specifically to control Tail Beast.
reverse. Gaara is countering.
He doesn't use it,
Sasuke
but he has it
by wind style, which winded earth, which is made out, and Gaara also have lighting element. He can lighting release. So Gaara has.
Did this man just say Gaara has wind and lightning style? Is there any moment at all that Gaara ever uses wind or lightning style? I can't remember it.
Kekkei Genkai, which is called magnet release, which is combination of two elements, earth and.
No, Shikaku has the magnet release. Gaara can just use it as a byproduct of being Jinchuriki. And just because that element is made of those two types doesn't necessarily mean you can use the two types of chakra natures used to make it. I can prove this because people with boil release, if I remember correctly, is a combination of water and fire. But just because people have it doesn't necessarily mean they can use boil release. The third Raikage can use all the nature transformations, but he can't necessarily use all the combination stuff. Like he doesn't have magnet release, he doesn't have lava release, he doesn't have boil release, and all that. Maid has boil release, and we know that she can use the water style, and she uses basically one doesn't necessarily mean the other. Does he? Yeah, I know he has magnet release, but when does he ever use lightning or wind release? Is that like a data book thing? When does he do it though? Is that like a data book related thing? We'll talk about this later. I'll finish
And
this up.
wind, one of them
towards the end.
counters lighting style. And
Because he has, okay, let's say he has the style, that's fine. He doesn't demonstrate any techniques with them, so even if he has them, it's irrelevant.
and besides that, Sharingan does not the genjutsu that can Sasuke use with ocular genjutsu does not work on.
He doesn't use the genjutsu at this point, so that's a non-factor.
That Sasuke can use does not work on Jinchuriki, which Gaara is.
Which movie?
And that's one disadvantage too. And that taijutsu was not enough to Gaara. That's why he used Chidori. That's actually third count.
That just proves that Sasuke doesn't have the same attack potency as Rock Lee. Not necessarily that he. What you're trying to say?
Mental imp, like Gaara was really, really mentally amped, and here Sasuke went against that Gaara. So like there's multiple counters against Sasuke, and there is no argument that Gaara counters Sasuke.
Gaara counters Sasuke? No, Sasuke is the counter to Gaara. That's the argument that's usually made. Gaara is a good counter to Rock Lee because of his sand and all that capabilities, but Rock Lee still almost had that fight won and could have won it had he'd either fight slightly smarter or had conditions been slightly different.
Not Gaara. Sasuke counters Gaara. There's no
There you
argument
go.
about that. Let's say if this guy has anything to say.
The strongest person.
Yes.
Or overall his gates level power and so on and so forth.
Statements.
It's clearly shown.
It's literally clearly shown that that's the fact. Like no one made Gaara bleed. No one. That guy was not made bleed. No one made Gaara bleed, which Sasuke did. So it's support fact that states support.
I think Naruto makes him bleed later. But are you now saying that weekend fatigued Naruto is now just more powerful than Fifth Gate Rock Lee? That's, come on, even you have to admit that's a stretch.
It's that statement. It's consistent.
Oh, and for anyone who's curious on what I'm talking about towards the end of the fight where Naruto goes up to Gaara and he headbutts him. And he headbutts him so hard that he breaks open both their heads.
You can't argue against that.
Lee has greater destructive capacity.
DC is irrelevant. AP is more direct measurement for attack potency.
AP is attack potency.
Clearly more faster, more stronger.
No, he's not.
More powerful. And Sasuke is just unfortunately not.
We should watch that movie here at some point.
The only feat that literally.
Wonder if I can get away with that.
He has greater feats.
I'm not getting paid. I don't care.
I don't need to.
When this video, Sasuke was done.
Come at me, Toei. I'm not scared of you. Please don't. I am. I don't want to get taken down.
He has to say at this point. So that's it, guys. Like I think I completely just literally done this topic fully. Like I think I explained everything, debunked every of his points. Like please watch full video. Don't skip. Like maybe.
Who sits there and tells their audience not to skip any parts of his videos? Like, if people skip, it's because you talk slowly, you repeat yourself, and you refuse to get to the point. If your audience wants to skip, don't sit there and tell them they can't. Also, you have to have an ego to sit there and automatically just claim that you've debunked everyone's points. Just say what you have, put out your arguments, and then let the people decide if you were right. If people watch this and decide I'm wrong, That's fine. That's whatever. I can understand other people's points. I don't have the same level of ego as you.
Maybe you miss some parts and it won't make sense afterwards.
Doesn't
So
make sense with it all.
just watch full video and like tell me your what you guys think in the
But don't tell him if he's wrong, because then you're just biased, ignorant. You're just riding on Batman's dick. You're doing all the bad things. If you're not agreeing with Weeb, you're just wrong. So tell him if he's right. Keep your mouth shut if you're wrong. There's only like 10 seconds left in this. Whatever. We'll
in the
finish it.
comments. So yeah, peace.
Okay, that's it. That is the entirety of that. That was oof. This is my longest stream so far. We're at 2 hours and 30 minutes. Wow. So again, like I said, like I wanted to say at the beginning of this, if you have any ideas of videos I should do in the future, please let me know. And we will we'll end this here. Yeah. Everyone have a good day. Ken out.